Good afternoon, and welcome to today's episode of Coded Inequalities. Today, we're going to be focusing on biases and facial recognition. I'm your host, Giselle, and today we're going to be taking a deep dive into one of the most prominent aspects of AI right now, which is facial recognition. So sit tight, sit back, relax, and enjoy this deep dive. Question: what if the technology that's supposed to keep us safe is actually targeting us? What if your face, your identity, was flagged as a threat simply because of your race or gender? Hey, I'm your host Giselle, and in today's episode of Coded Inequality, we're talking about the hidden biases in facial recognition software, how it works, who it hurts, and why does it matter? First, let's talk. What is facial recognition actually? So, I had to do a little research on this, but facial recognition is a software that is everywhere right now. You might use it to unlock your phone, like our Face ID, of course, or tag our friends on Instagram. I didn't even realize that was considered facial recognition. So, learned something new there. But it's also used by government, airports, police departments to identify and other areas that are important to identify people in real time. So here's how it works. Facial recognition technology, it scans your face, it turns it into unique code based off of like the data that's being given to it, and it even looks at things like the distance between your eyes and your jaw structure, which to me that's crazy. And using that, it is able to compare your face to the database that is given to them. It may sound efficient, but what if the system doesn't recognize you? Or even worse, what if it misidentifies you? That's a major problem that's happening right now. In 2018, researcher Joy Buolamwini from the MIT Media Lab released a groundbreaking study called Gender Shades. She tested facial recognition systems from companies like IBM, Microsoft, and others, and found some really disturbing facts. The system, when being able to identify white male faces, had an error rate of under 1%. But when it came to dark-skinned women, or any type of dark-toned skin, the error rate jumped to 34%. Why? Because the data used to train these systems is mainly made by the typical white male. They are feeding this information into the system that's not necessarily diverse, not giving a range of all gender, all race, all ethnicity. And so the AI is learning this information, and so that's all they know basically. So when somebody like me, a person of color, or anybody else of different ethnicities or people of color are to be faced with these facial recognitions, they are only going based off what they know. And if all they know is white skin tone and white ethnic features, then of course it's going to misidentify us. And as the researcher puts, she says it herself, if the training sets aren't diverse, the system won't be accurate. With this research, it has really opened her eyes, and she's kind of seen what it's done. And so she has continued to push for and advocate for a change in facial recognition, and she even started her own league called the Algorithmic Justice League, and it pushes to have more ethical AI. And this isn't just about the bad coding or the bad information given to these facial recognitions. It's real people that are being harmed. Just recently in 2020, Robert Williams, a black man from Michigan, was wrongly arrested because of a facial recognition misidentification. He was handcuffed in front of his family and held in jail for over 30 hours. He later said in an interview, "That shouldn't have happened. I don't even look like the guy." And this is not the only time that we've seen this happen. In 2023, a report by the Center on Privacy and Technology at Georgetown Law found that Black and Latino people are more likely to be misidentified and targeted by facial recognition, especially when police rely on it without even looking over it. So the problem here isn't just a racial issue. Facial recognition struggles with gender, and we can see this especially with trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming people. If something is not done now, it will continue to get worse, and people that are not in the typical norm of what people should look like are going to be affected by this. According to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, these systems often misgender people or erase their identities altogether. So, what's being done right now? In response to the outlash and the issues that we see with it right now and how damaging it could be to a person, cities like San Francisco and Boston have banned government use of facial recognition altogether. Even tech companies like Amazon and Microsoft have paused police activities and police access that allow them to use their tools for things like facial recognition. And activists and researchers are demanding algorithm audits and more diverse data sets. Basically, they want people to go in there and look and see what information these systems are being fed. What are they being told to see? And a lot of people even think that the system is already too flawed. There's too much wrong in there, and it's not just an easy fix. So they think the best solution is just to eliminate it entirely. Especially in areas like policing and surveillance where it could cost somebody's life. They could be in jail for life, just like what happened to Robert Williams. Overall, facial recognition software might seem like a smart tech, but what it fails to recognize is us, the people. It fails to understand that we are all different and we don't all look the same. It's not just broken, it's dangerous. So we need to ask ourselves, who is being seen and who is being erased? We'll continue efforts from activists and researchers and big companies that use these systems, and recognizing that they're faulty, we could continue to work towards removing them and understanding that AI is not always the solution to everything. And this is really hurting people's lives. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Code and Quality. I'm Giselle, and if this episode got you thinking and got you wanting to look into some other things, check out the research that I used in this episode from the Algorithmic Justice League, or read one of Joy's work based off of facial recognition. Thank you guys for joining me today. Until next time.